Hello, Leslie. What are you doing right now?
I have a day off today, so I'm currently at the hospital. Is something the matter?
You're not working? My, how lucky to get a day off in the middle of the week, while Kennedy's still working, no less. Aren't you at least a little bit ashamed?
I'm working hard every other day, Mrs. Roberts. What can I do for you?
Neither you nor Kennedy have been coming over to visit us these days. Mind telling me what's up with that?
We don't get many chances to visit, and recently we've both gotten busier with our jobs, work piling on and all.
That's just an excuse, isn't it?
It's not, I assure you.
You seriously can't make some time to see me and my husband? See, this is exactly why I despise women near 40 without any children. It's like you don't feel responsible. You're just saying work this and work that when you're just running, aren't you? Anyone would agree that load of BS is just a good excuse to explain why you don't have children.
But it's not like that at all, you see. It brings me sadness that you would think that way, but we will visit you whenever we can, I promise.
And when would that be, precisely? You do have your day off today. You get over here right this instant.
Right this instant? I'm still at the hospital, Mrs. Roberts. In addition, it does take about an hour and a half to get to where you live. I also have some other plans later on in the day, so I'm afraid today will be difficult.
Ugh, excuses again?
These are not excuses, Mrs. Roberts.
I wonder how we can live together if this keeps up.
What? We don't have any plans to live together, Mrs. Roberts.
Give it some time, and you won't be able to say that sentence anymore.
What do you mean?
You see, dear, we've decided to reform our entire house.
Oh, is that so? I didn't know about that.
It's going to be a big project, and the house will be bigger when it's done. Aren't you excited?
Yes, I'm very excited. When will the reforming start?
We're still discussing that, but once the construction's finished, I thought we could live together.
Oh, what?
It's scheduled to finish sometime next year, so you'll have plenty of time to get ready, right?
Mrs. Roberts, could you refrain from deciding stuff for us, if you please? Like I said, we don't have plans to live with you. Not to mention the fact that our jobs are so far away from your home.
Kennedy can commute to work by car, and you can just quit your own job. You aren't doing much of anything in any case. A businesswoman approaching 40. Ugh, what a cliche.
I have no intention of quitting, Mrs. Roberts. It's a technical job, after all. I get guaranteed leave, so I have no wishes to stop working just because I have days off.
That's irrelevant, my dear Leslie. You and Kennedy are coming to live with us, and that's final.
That will only make things worse for us, Mrs. Roberts. Plus, doesn't Miss Olivia live with you at home? You already have a younger adult living with you. Isn't that enough?
For now, sure.
What? Is Miss Olivia going to move out or something?
What are you on about? She's not going anywhere. That girl's coming with us when we move. But in the event something happens to us, you're going to take care of her after all, so without you living under the same roof, it's rather inconvenient, wouldn't you agree?
What exactly are you saying, Mrs. Roberts?
Huh?
We are going to take care of Miss Olivia?
But of course you are. Kennedy is Olivia's only brother, and they have to support each other, wouldn't you agree?
I doubt that's what Kennedy would want, Mrs. Roberts. And I think you know about this. Kennedy doesn't particularly like his sister.
Oh, that's only superficial nonsense. Either that or he's just saying that it's you he's talking to. They are family, no doubt about that, and they must help each other out.
Forgive me, but I beg to differ. But in any case, we already have so much on our own plate, we can't help Miss Olivia in any way. She's not even working despite all of her credit card loans. There's no way we can help her.
That's exactly what family's for, Leslie. Olivia's your sister too now, isn't she?
I'm sorry, but I've never thought of her as my sister.
The heck? Then what was she in your eyes this whole time?
Only that there's someone else living in your house. We've only met like twice since Kennedy and I got married. And she spends most of her time secluded in her room, doesn't she?
That girl's a hard-working academic. Her room's filled to the brim with books. Unlike you, an unintelligent, broke woman, she reads her time away.
I read books too, Mrs. Roberts. The only difference is that I can only buy books I can afford with everything else.
Oh, shut the hell up. You're going to live with us very soon, so I suggest you get comfortable with Olivia.
Mrs. Roberts, I'm going to be clear here. We're not going to live with you.
And during the reforming, my husband and I are going to visit other relatives.
I see.
But they say they really don't have the space for Olivia and can't make any more room. So I'll say my thanks now. So it's done.
Wait, what? Don't tell me you're entrusting us with her.
Is that such a bad thing?
It's just not possible. We can't take care of that kind of dead weight.
Why? Aren't you a cruel human being? Choose your words wisely before you say them. What do you mean by dead weight?
I think I can speak for your other relatives when I say so, but it will only be a huge bother for Kennedy and I, so let's put a pin in this.
It's already settled, and Olivia's getting ready under the pretense she's moving in with you. She'll head over next month, or maybe the next. Take good care of her.
Are you not understanding what I'm saying? We don't have the space for her books, assuming she brings any.
When it's finished, the house will become Olivia's dream home, you know, and you'll be living in it too. Maybe you should ask her for the arrangements.
What? Her dream home?
The second floor will pretty much be her study, you see. We're planning to install a lot of bookcases.
And how do you propose Kennedy and I live there with those plans in mind?
Let's live happily together on the first floor. We'll install a private bathroom for Olivia, too.
This is unbelievable. You're really going to let your own daughter live out her life as a recluse?
It's Olivia's life. She decides how to live it. She's our adorable daughter, after all.
And yet you accuse me, a childless spouse approaching 40, that I'm only using work as an excuse to not have children. What about Olivia? She's 44 right now, isn't she? There's no way she's going to get married, and she hasn't worked a proper job in over 10 years, right?
She had a proper job up until 10 years ago. Isn't that good enough?
And I never told you the reason why I'm at the hospital. I'm actually expecting a baby.
What? Really?
I was going to tell you after I had a proper examination. It's a shame it turned out this way.
Oh, how marvelous! All the more reason for living together, isn't it? You're finally having a baby! Oh, I can finally see my first grandchild.
Not in a million years will we live with you.
What? Why?
We can't live in a newly reformed house with the second floor a haven for a recluse. With our darling baby, you see. And also it's another thing to live on the first floor with our family, with Mr. Roberts and with you, while Olivia gets the whole damn second floor to herself.
A child changes everything, Leslie. I'll have a chat with Olivia and see if we can reach a compromise.
In either case, we're not living with you. We have no intention of taking care of Olivia either.
How heartless of you. Kennedy would never say such nasty things.
And also, Kennedy and I are planning to build a house of our own.
What? Really?
We were worried that we couldn't help you in the event you're not doing so well, so we were thinking if we build a little bit closer to home. I'm starting to think it's a lost cause.
You were thinking about that for us?
Yes, on the condition that you make Olivia independent, but that won't seem possible anyway.
I want to live with my grandchild, too. I've been waiting 3 long years for a grandchild, you know.
Perhaps you should be hopeful to see Olivia's child. Since she's so important to you, you're willing to reform your whole house for her sake. Well, first she has to touch some grass if you want her to get married and have children. She isn't so much dead weight for me and for Kennedy. Perhaps oversized piece of trash is a more accurate description. How about you start by making her stop asking for credit card loans? Leslie felt like she'd gone a little too far with what she said, but Kennedy praised her, saying great job when she told him what happened. Later on, Kennedy himself contacted Mrs. Roberts and told her that the plan to build the house closer to home was scrapped, and they would be instead building even further away. He also told her that unless Olivia became independent, even when the baby was born, Mrs. Roberts would never see it. Chloe, my mother-in-law, was enraged, scolding her son for insulting his own sister that way. But George, my father-in-law, agreed that although he did love his daughter very much, she couldn't live like this anymore, and he told us he'd ask her to find her own place. But then Olivia flew into a tantrum and nearly destroyed the entire house. The police had to get involved to stop her. Now Leslie and Kennedy are apparently searching for ways to cut ties with Olivia.